See anything?
No, still waiting for you to start the webinar.
Wow. Wait a minute, I got 3 participants now.
Okay. Oh, now we are. Now it's logging us on. That's awesome.
Wow. Hey, Heather and Lori, sorry about that. I'm on with Meleeah. I'm glad I called you.
All right, me too. Okay, cool. All right, I just sent her a response. If Lori Wood's not on, then I just told her to log back in.
Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay, there's somebody. I can hear them now. All right, let me get my video going here. Did you? Okay, that's.
I unmute, then I'll need to hang up the phone, otherwise we'll have it back.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool.
Just.
Right, and I see you and your screen.
Yep, hi there. All right, I'm waiting for one more then. Heather, Lori, Meleeah. The other ones maybe quit, right? Because they couldn't get in. Here comes Sarah.
Hello?
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
It's Albert. How are you? We're getting started in a second here. Lori, you're on.
Okay.
Everybody should be able to. Everybody should be able to talk. But you don't have to talk if you don't want to. That's the power of this thing.
I'm finally in. This is Misty.
Okay, here's Misty.
Yeah,
All
finally
right.
made it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Lori Wood. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Lori Wood. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I
I
will
don't
go
know what
back on
happened.
mute.
This is my 5th Zoom I did today, and for some reason it just wasn't starting, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I think we're okay now. Let me go back to slideshow. Okay, let's first get to the contest, right? So the winner, Laura, you were the first one to sign in, or to actually submit your questions. But the winner was, where's the winner? Hold on a second. Misty, you're the winner.
Yay!
You're going to get 2 $50 Visa gift cards. Your answers were very, very close to all of them being correct. And proves that you know your stuff. Or else you took a lot of notes last time I was in the office there, because we did the same kind of thing, but that's fine. So I'll get with you later on. I'm gonna need your address at your house to send the cards to.
Sounds good.
Because they don't send them to commercial addresses. Okay, Terry Daniels, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. Terry, you can ask questions if you want. Everybody's unmuted. I think everybody's unmuted. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, so everybody can see my blue screen there, correct?
Yep.
All right, well, again, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day. This is my 3rd or maybe my 4th Zoom today with Howard Hanna. Since we lowered our prices, a lot of agents have been eager to check us out to see what's going on. So we all know real estate's a numbers game, and I firmly believe this, and I know you guys believe this because of the way Meleeah probably coached you. I've been doing this about 19 years. I built the first ever electronic newsletter for agents, and today we're up to about 500 Howard Hanna agents throughout the whole 7-8 state region that are using us to help them get and stay top of mind. So what we're all about is just simply helping the agents with their numbers. And if it's a numbers game, the better your numbers are, the better we're going to be. So through more relationships, through more touches, meaningful and actionable touches with your consumer base, we think we're going to be able to improve your numbers. So in all the offices I did, I guess I visited probably 100 Howard Hanna offices. And I ask agents, why can't you do the best possible job of staying in touch? And they come back and they say, Al, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I don't have everything. So this is our everything that I've been perfecting for the last 19 years. Starts out with a database. When I first came to Howard Hanna offices, I was at the first convention 2 years ago. We stopped into all these offices and we said to the agents, do you have a database? And nobody was putting their hands up. Well, we did a little investigation and found out that 9 out of 10 agents in the Howard Hanna system didn't have a clean, reliable database. So that's the first thing we build for agents is a new database. We're going to go into your Go Hanna, e-contacts. If you've got contacts in Moxie Engage, we'll get those out. We'll show you our integration that we have with Moxie Engage. But the idea is to get everybody you know, everybody that could put money in your pocket on a piece of paper, or spreadsheet. So that's what we do. And then after you authorize the list goes in, and then we start nurturing the pipeline. Every 2 weeks, a highly branded newsletter full of content and widgets that they've never seen before, probably you haven't seen before, gets delivered, and then it's tracked. And we're telling you what's going on inside of your database because we know what people are doing inside of your database. So we're going to help you warm up or focus on the segment of your database that's warming up. And finally, protecting your email addresses. Right now, we have what we call email exclusivity. Once you put an email address in the system, it becomes exclusive to you. So if Meleeah puts in bettyjane@aol.com right now, tonight, you guys, nobody else can get bettyjane@aol.com in their database. So this is an exclusive relationship, if you will, with email addresses. And we send out I think we're sending out now a little over 800,000 newsletters every month on behalf of Howard Hanna agents. So this is a Ninja Training Institute fact that they've been using for years, and I think everybody agrees with this in the industry, that 15% of everybody you know is in some stage of warming up for a transaction. But other services aren't going to tell you which 15%. We're going to tell you that, and we'll get into that in a couple seconds. So again, these are the places where we can go and grab contacts. You'd be surprised how many contacts agents have in e-contacts. They don't know how they got there. They don't know if they're going into Engage. We go in and we clean that whole situation up. This is the top part. Now, many of you have probably seen Meleeah's newsletter. This is the top part of the newsletter. There's always 8 or 9 articles every 2 weeks that we write, we put in, we ship, we track, we do it all. You get to own the first 5 articles in every newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks. So we can bring in your listings, your just solds, your open houses, your testimonials, whatever you have, and we'll show you some good examples here of what other agents have been doing. Look at that first article, though. I want to show you our most widely clicked article, and something as simple as what's sold down the street. So we give the article a simple title, What's Sold Down the Street Up to 15 Minutes Ago. And what that is the ability for you to give us 10, 12, 15 zip codes where you cover. We're going to put those 15 zip codes right on the newsletter, and when the consumer clicks their zip code, up will come what's sold in the last 15 minutes. I think, here it is. In the last 15 minutes, going back 3 months. So when people want to know what's going on or what's selling, because they think their house is obviously more valuable than that. That's why they want to know. But you can't be driving around the neighborhoods all the time telling people what other houses sold for. So we build this functionality into your newsletter. Now, as soon as somebody clicks on this green sold sign, because we told them to click on the green sold sign, you're going to get a text and an email. You're going to say, well, why do I care? Well, 40% of consumers that are banging on this kind of information that want to know what's sold down the street are in some stage, early stage of warming up for a transaction. That's 4 out of 10 of them. So we're going to tell you everybody that click this. So you get a conversation starter going. Okay, we don't want to, I'm not going to promise you hot leads. I'm going to promise you conversation starters. So this is, let's go back to one here. You can see this is where we can bring in your listings. So we can put all your listings in one article or put every listing in its own article. Over on the right, some more of our predictive content, true or false. Is it true that you have to have 20% down payment these days? Well, let's forget about what's going on these days. But when this article was written, we were back to normal. So is 20% mandatory? It probably is right now, or will be by these new banks that are coming out with the new policies. But anyway, perfect credit. You don't have to have perfect credit to get in your first house. So wouldn't you want to talk to 20 people that are trying to find down payment money? That's what we do. As soon as that article gets clicked, you get notified. Another article, 7 out of 10 homeowning families have no idea how much equity they have in their home. And especially these days, they're worried about how much equity. So are they going to Zillow, or are they just saying, hey, we'll worry about it later? We want you to reach out to them because once they open this article, we're going to tell you who read the or who opened the article. So you'll be able to get back with them with a good conversation that simply says, hey, Jim, I see you got that newsletter of mine. Do you need any help figuring out, how much home equity you have? And try to be there as a resource for them. We portray you as a homeownership expert. You should certainly be able to tell somebody what their house is worth. So again, we drive traffic back to your website, to the CMA request page, or anywhere else you want. 2 weeks ago, I was on the Friday call with Hobie. I mean, that wasn't part of the call. I was connected to it. And you guys were talking about all this new web content you have, blog content and videos. So what we did was we now enable all of our 500 agents to come into our library, and we have a special section called Howard Hanna Content, which I'll show you. Is it on this one? There it is. We're taking all the weekly blog content that Howard Hanna is creating, and we're making it easy for you to drag any article right into your newsletter or drag it right to social. It takes about 7 seconds to get one of these articles on your Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Okay, we built a system to enable this. So again, it's super easy to use all your great content that's being branded to Howard Hanna in your newsletter. And of course, when somebody opens these articles, if you want to know about it, we'll tell you about it. Add that to our regular library of over 1,200 articles that you, again, can drag right to social media or drag into your newsletter. So you'll never run out of content when you're messing with HomeActions here, because we are a content nut. I mean, obviously you've heard the term content is king. Well, it's everything around here. So that's one of our defining features: email exclusivity and good content that's relevant. And what you won't see here is chicken pot pie recipes and moving day tips, right? Because that's fluff. That's for a regular realtor newsletter, not ours. Does anybody have any questions yet?
No.
No? Everybody's all right? Okay. Take a look at this one. If any agents out there are doing video, just simple iPhone video or a little more sophisticated, we're able to take those videos and they play right inside the newsletter. And again, we'll tell you who opened up your videos and watched your whatever. So a lot of agents are getting into this. There was, I think, last Friday's call with Hobie, talked about the kind of feature or the kind of tools that you guys have to do these videos. Well, we're not going to help you build the videos, but we can certainly get, more eyeballs on them. Okay, you guys might recognize this one, neighborhood news. Now, for most agents, they're not using neighborhood news the way they should because the agent doesn't have the zip codes of everybody in order to put into Moxie Engage to send them out the newsletter. So what we do, the neighborhood news. So what we do is this is optional if you want. We will build this article in your newsletter. You give us, again, 8-10 zip codes. When they click on their zip code, up is going to come their neighborhood news. And I'm going to tell you what they clicked on, okay, and who clicked on it. This can be in your newsletter every 2 weeks because your newsletter goes out every 2 weeks. So I'm going to get you more eyeballs on your neighborhood news reports than you would inside of your Moxie Engage, okay? And I could prove that because we're doing it right now. So again, that's an optional article. Now, for the agents that are up on buy side, this is a great consumer service. I think when you're sitting down in the listing presentation, if you can't close 9 out of 10 by using this buy side tool that you have, maybe we need to get you some more training. Because the ability to sit down with a consumer and say, hey, if you give me the listing, I already have people that are looking for a 4-bedroom colonial in this part of town in this price range, So that's a phenomenal service. And I don't know if you guys, Meleeah, have they all trained on that already? Anybody know?
Yes, we've all talked about buy side, but I think they all need more in-depth training on it.
Okay, well, then we don't put this article in until you're ready to, use the program. I just wanted to show you how we can take every tool you have and get more eyeballs on it, right? More education for that tool. Because tools sitting in a toolbox aren't any good. They got to be used. Okay, now, when I said a little while ago, I portray you as a homeownership expert, this is what we mean. This is what my editors cover and report and write every 2 weeks. So again, no recipes, no moving day tips, hard-hitting, impactful information. And our next new feature we're coming out with in our content arena is first-time homebuyer stuff. We believe that as soon as the cloud clears on the virus, that there's going to be oodles of first-time homeowner tax credits coming out of Washington, D.C. and there's going to be a lot of pent up demand. So I could see agents, you know, going crazy trying to get all this kind of different information into the homes of their clients, prospects, and friends. Well, we're going to do all that for you. We're going to track all the federal and state programs that homeowners trying to get in their first home. In fact, that was one of the questions on the quiz. What percentage of millennials are trying to get into their first home? The answer is 69%. Okay, so there's a lot of demand there. Now, again, we don't know what kind of, you know, down payment issues they're going to have when they come out of the storm. But again, we're going to be able to take all that information, clean it up, and then make it look like it's your newsletter, make it look like it's, you know, you're writing that content. And that's what we're very good at. Email exclusivity, we already went through that one. Our social media game plan, we could talk about that later on, but you'll never run out of content for social media. And I mean good content, not your typical realtor fluff or realtors, you know, the kind of content that companies put up there and you don't even know what's going up. Okay, so we've got something that certainly compares with all that and is built in and there's no extra cost. This is where the rubber meets the road here. We're going to be showing you after your first newsletter launches, if you decide to work with this, you're going to be under my wing and I'm going to be telling you what pages to click on our report section. The first one we want you to click is delivery statistics. So for this agent, we sent out 1,336 emails, 615 unique opens after 4.5 hours. And we've got a phenomenal open rate on all these newsletters that are going out because we have relationships with the ISPs, the internet companies. So we get around their spam filters. 1,336 sent, 615 open, but look at that number to the right there, 1,016. That's total opens. And what I'm going to tell you is, and we can prove this out, and you'll see all these numbers too, half of your agents will open your newsletter multiple times because we send it very early in the morning when we get good open rate, but we don't want them to read it early in the morning, right? This is not mission critical. But when the alarm clock goes off, everybody grabs for their phone, right? We all do that. And we throw out the obvious junk, save the good stuff to read later. So I'm getting your name stuck in their inbox. And as they go up and down their email 100 times a day like we do, they're going to see your name and your subject line. So then what happens is, then we're going to tell you exactly what articles that we wrote for you resonated well. Who clicked the most articles and why do you think they clicked them? Well, look at that red arrow in the middle. 28 people wanted to know what sold down the street. Multiply that by 40% and you've got a bunch of conversations that might turn into deals. Why? Because you're there at the right time. Every 2 weeks, you might be calling these people 3-4 hours after they open this up, but you know they opened it up, okay? So this is the intelligence we're giving you on your database. And if we could exploit that and be there at the right time, you know we're going to make more deals. After every article is open, we ask the consumer to vote on this and tell us and you see this too, how well you like that content. But what we're doing now is we're saving a little face here for the agents that are afraid to ask for referrals. So we're going to do it for you. So look at that fourth box down there. 17% of the time when these forms come back to you, that box is checked yes. That means there's somebody in your database, got your newsletter, builds allegiance with you, and is willing to refer you to a friend or family member, okay? So when you get emails to HomeActions, you want to open them up because most of the time they're pretty good. The only bad email you'll get is when somebody unsubscribes. And full transparency, we're going to tell you unsubscribe immediately. Now, it's a specific integration. For those of you using Engage, and I think probably all of you are, we are synchronized with them or integrated with Engage. So every morning at 2:30, all your contacts in Engage will get shipped over to HomeActions and get nurtured through us. All of your contacts in HomeActions will go into your Moxie. So you could be tracking everything that's going on with somebody, what they're searching for, et cetera, inside your Moxie Engage. And we've got even more integration coming. All our open, click, and share data is going to be put over into Moxie Engage also. So you'll get a full profile of everybody that's in your Moxie Engage. And again, when we set this up, this is our automatic. It doesn't have to be. You can turn the switch off. If you want just some of your contacts, we'll take some of your contacts in Engage and put them in HomeActions. So we could talk about that later on. But having a synchronized database is very important. Now, when I mentioned in the front, this thing called defection, And that is the process when somebody comes to your website, probably doesn't get what they want and is going to go somewhere else. They hear an ad for Zillow, they go to Zillow, they start researching at Zillow, and next thing you know, they're hooked on Zillow. And studies show they never come back to the agent's website. Well, what we want to do, and we think we're doing a good job with it, is to have your consumers doing their research and all their investigations in front of you, so you know what they're getting, you know that it's correct, you know that it's update. When they go to Zillow and they come back to you and they say, well, this house, sold for 450 and really sold for 390, you got a problem. Well, you don't have the problem, but you have to explain the problem. So what we're doing is we're having all these new widgets and tools, and here's one right now called the Neighborhood 360. So these are all the reasons why somebody runs to Zillow and never comes back to the agent's website. So what we did was we went out and found out all that information, and we built this widget called Neighborhood 360. It's an article that's in every newsletter. You could take it out if you want, or leave it in for every couple of weeks. And it empowers your readers with the ability to research and do a deep neighborhood dive on 150 million street addresses. There aren't any more than that, 150 million. They just type in an address and up comes a report. We'll show you a report now. And what we're showing is that the average agent spends about 4.5 minutes in this report. So let's assume that this is one of your listings. I'm going to go up and do a new share here. I'm going to pull up a new document. Okay, so this is the report for that house I just showed you. No, it's not. That was in New York. Well, it doesn't make a difference. It's just imagine that this is the report that's going to be on your website next to your listings. It could be in your blogs, could be everywhere. So as soon as this report gets opened, you're going to get a text and an email. We're going to tell you who in your database clicked on what property and why did they want the information on that property. They have to tell us why they want this report, part of our intelligence that we give you. So let's say it's 707 Water Hickory Drive in Cary, North Carolina. We're going to give you some demographics, give them some demographics on the area, a map of where the property is, information about the property, cost of living information. We have cost of living calculators in the program so they know what it's going to cost to move from Syracuse, New York to Chesterfield, wherever it is. So the idea is that they're looking for all this information. You're going to give it to them all in one spot with one report. Income levels in the neighborhood, rent versus own, average tax bill, recent sales nearby. Remember, everybody wants to know what's sold down the street. Now, these aren't comps. These are just Keller Williams, Century 21, Howard Hanna, anybody. And again, these are refreshed every time these reports get pulled. So let's go down to then transportation. How is everybody getting to work in the area? Where are the traffic patterns? Where's are the problems with traffic? We have all that tracked for them. Then we get into the school information. Okay, there's some school report information, but basically we know where all the schools are. We don't tell them what school they're going to go to. We just tell them where the schools are and click on these blue boxes for all that information. And then we have this really cool amenity section where people today, studies are showing that people are digging into neighborhoods before they're actually going to do a walkthrough on a house. So they want to get a feel for what's the makeup of the area around here. And what we do is we went out and we found all the places that are in town. Where are we going to go for happy hour? Where are we going to go for fine dining? Where are we going to go to shop? New stores that are highlighted in the area. And now you'll notice these all have Yelp reviews with them, okay? It's always important if you're going to recommend well, you're not really recommending properties. This is a directory. So it's always good to have that comfort knowing that they're Yelp endorsed. So this is donut shops and bagel shops, places to work out. Where's your closest gymnasium? And you'll know everything is within 3-mile radius, okay? So there's a lot of stuff going on around this listing. So again, we know what's going on. We impart on your readers all this knowledge about every neighborhood in the country. So when you say you're a neighborhood expert, you can prove it now. And then where are we going to get our toenails done and our hair done and tattoos removed? And finally, everybody here on the call has got to be a pet-friendly realtor, right? You may hate pets, but you can't say it because half your clients have pets. So what we're all about is telling them everything that's going on with animal hospitals, Petco stores, dog walkers, and it makes for a nice report. And it could be printed out. You could have it at your open houses. You can do lots of stuff with these reports. But really, it empowers you with everything that's going on in the country, close to any listing, close to any street address, up to 150 million of them. So let me go back and finish the, get back to my PowerPoint. All right, let's go from current slide. We went through all that. This is the kind of email that you'll get once somebody opens up that report, right? So you, again, always open up email you get from HomeActions because it's good news. This is what we call a conversation starter. The consumer is telling you what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and why they want that information. And again, conversation starter, not hot leads. This is updated to about 800,000 newsletters right now, and we're all about impressions and engagement. If our content wasn't getting read and getting open, people would cancel this, agents would cancel it, we wouldn't have a business model. There isn't a model like this anywhere in real estate. And again, I've been perfecting it for 19 years. Meleeah, are you guys still doing the Find It First program?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so any Find It First listings or any regular listings, once you have all the pictures in the Howard Hanna listing system, we're able to go in there, take out all these reports, build you a flyer, and send it to everybody in your database in about 3 hours. No charge for this, okay? This is a free service. And we're going to give you a link to this same report so you could put it on social media or anywhere else. So we're going to help you get more exposure to your listing sooner than you putting the listing information somewhere else. And then, of course, I told you about the link we're going to give you. Nurturing. I can't tell you how many times, probably 9 out of 10 offices that I'm in when I'm doing a demo back in the old days, I would ask consumers, you know, hey, or ask agents, what kind of questions do you have? And somebody would always say, hey, Al, which is a benchmark for marketing programs, right? How many houses am I going to sell this year because I buy HomeActions? And I'll give you the Zillow answer, between 0 and 100. I have no idea, but I'm going to help you get up the home plate, swing the bat, okay? And we're going to hit some home runs. But the return on investment comes from several different areas, okay? It's not all just divided by how many houses you sold. If I can't, in the first month, show you a progression or how this stuff is going to happen and put money in your pocket, you could cancel the program and I'll give you your money back. And we'll give you your database back, right? You always own the database. We don't own it. So again, nurturing is everlasting. You should never say, oh, I'm nurturing my clients for the next year. You should do that forever, because this pipeline that you're going to have is going to be your most valuable professional asset, right? A nurtured pipeline is something every agent needs. Not a lot of them know how to do it. And that's what we're helping you with. So in summation, we know what to send, when to send, how to send it, all the metrics. We know how to create these conversation starters for you, and we know how to lock in exclusive value. So the reason that I couldn't sell this to anybody, and for the year of 2018, my deal with the Hannas were, if you allow us into the offices in Ohio, we won't sell this to anybody else in Ohio. And they realized that agents should have the chance, their agents should have the chance to get the database built, get their email addresses in and protected before everybody else can get it. So I'm not flying back to Keller Williams' office down the street from your office now, or in Michigan. I'm just not doing that. So you guys got exclusivity probably forever on at the brokerage level. So now let's talk about subscription options. There are 2 ways to subscribe to our program. Right now, at this moment, this is the cheapest this program has ever been. So what we're doing today is we are getting rid of the monthly or the setup fee, the $99 setup fee. So you don't have to pay that. And the monthly plan, and then there's a quarterly plan. The quarterly plan's a little bit, much better. The monthly plan is for agents that want to package this thing out and pay for it every month on their credit card. So instead of $65, our regular retail rate on our website is $79. It goes to $65 normally for Howard Hanna. We're taking it down to $60. So you would pay no setup fee, pay $60 to get this going. And if I can't do some referral business for you, or you don't see this thing working, you get your money back and you get your database back. The smarter move is the quarterly plan. So there's 4 quarterly payments. So every 3 months of 150. So 150 and 150, 150, 150 is $600 for the year. Pay for it every quarter. It saves over $180 versus the monthly plan. Okay. And anytime you cancel the program, we just stop billing you on that 150. Okay. I've never had a problem. And this is 500 agents. Any of them wanted to quit. And yes, some of them quit for various reasons. They get their money back, or, then we just stop billing them again and we give them their database back. So I've got 25 people in between sales and customer support. And this is how we pay them. What we feel this is a good price, a good investment for something that's going to hold you in good stead going down the road. Yeah, starting tomorrow, we could have your whole thing up and running tomorrow. But the idea is get that database built, because as we progress through these Howard Hanna offices again, more agents will be signing up and you might lose some of your contacts, but you've got this first mover advantage. And B, you're saving a lot of money in the month of April if you do decide to work with us. So let's open this up for some questions now. I can, answer just about anything. If you want to see some facts and figures, you want to see another agent's dashboard, there's a whole bunch of questions you might have. We can get them out in the air right now. Oh, what happened to my clicker there? Sorry about that, guys. There it goes. Okay. Okay, everybody is unmuted. Unmute. Everybody should be able to hear me now, or be able to talk. Questions, please, for the panel. Oh, come on, you guys.
It's an incredible program.
It is.
How do we go about signing up?
I'm going to send everybody an order form in about 5 minutes, and you could fill it out, or you can just call me later on if you don't have a scanner or anything to scan it back. I could take the information over the phone. We have your email address, phone numbers, offices, everything. We would just need a credit card based on what kind of the level you want to come in at for the monthly plan or the quarterly plan.
Okay.
And again, everything is 100%. I'm going to give everybody my cell phone number too. If you could write this down, please. 570-510-3507. And you can give me a call.
Can you repeat that?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can you repeat that real quick?
Yeah, 570. I'm in Pennsylvania. 570-510-3507.
Thank you.
Okay. And everybody's going to get a order form. Misty, you and I will talk about your street address so I could send you the $100 worth of Visa gift cards.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions? I'll tell you about our unsubscribe rate, 4.5%. So for every 100 people you put in, expect about 5% to cancel, 5 out of 100. Okay. And then, I'm going to be on Hobie's call tomorrow. And if I see some more content, we're going to take that content and get it into the system here to get it into your newsletters. Okay. Because if you're not hanging around people that could put money in your pocket, you're not going to get any money in your pocket. Right? So especially with what's going on today, we want to build all these opportunities. So when the market turns back, you're going to be able to communicate with everybody, all these new programs. So you really are going to be an advocate for them. And that separates you from the, Century 21 and the Coldwell bankers that are putting out recipes and all, buy now while rates are low. Well, interest rates are going to be 3% for another year. Okay. It's going to almost be free money. So we think a lot of these millennials and the rest of the groups that have X's and Y's after their names are going to be looking for their first home, and then thus people we want to move up. So you're going to be uniquely qualified to educate them on all the programs that are out there that could help them get into the house or get into another house. But if you don't have a database and you don't have a distribution vehicle, that's what we really are, is a distribution platform into the home of everybody you've got in your database. And they let you come in every 2 weeks. If they don't, they unsubscribe, and that's okay. But a majority of these consumers are going to be hitting you with emails. Hey, thanks for sending that. That's very helpful. This is nice. good newsletter. How do you have time to write this? Some of the consumers think you guys write this, and you don't have time to do it. Trust me. I got, 4 editors full time tracking everything that's going on. Any other questions, please? Meleeah, you got any questions?
No, I don't have any questions at all.
All right. Sarah, Lori, Terry, Heather, nothing?
I think you did an awesome job presenting. This is great.
Well, thank you. And I'd rather be in the office, though. I love, every time I would come into Michigan or come into Ohio, we'd hit all the offices, and I really miss that. But this works pretty well. So I will send everybody a newsletter. If anybody needs to get this thing up and running rapidly, we could start building your database tonight. That's how flexible we are, okay? After dinner tonight, you can call me at 8 o'clock and we'll start getting into your Gmail, your Go Hanna, Engage, Top Producer, your MLS, everywhere you've got contacts, right? The average agent in Howard Hanna has 512 contacts in our system. They have no idea where we found all those contacts for them, but they're quite happy we did, right? Because they don't know how to do this. And maybe you guys don't either. But we program this whole system for agents that spell computer with a K. And there's a couple out there. I don't think they're in Meleeah's office, but they're out there, let me tell you. So that's what we do. We're going to take good care of you, because the last thing I need you to do is to go back to Meleeah and say, Albert ripped us off, right? Because Meleeah goes to the regionals, and the regionals go to my contact there, Jackie Casara, head of education. And she could stop this whole rollout. But you know what? In 2.5 years that I've been hitting these offices, they keep wanting us back. Because all the agents need, I won't say this sufficiently, but all the agents need what we have, a stay in touch program that is exclusive and makes them look good. And somebody does it for you every 2 weeks. Any other questions, please? No?
No, excellent work.
All right, I will send everybody, who's going to raise their hand and think they're going to subscribe? Can I just hear 1, 2, 3, 4? Anybody raising their hand? I can't see you raising your hand. You guys don't have cameras. Meleeah, can we buy everybody a camera? All right. Join or don't join. We're going to have some fun. But I'm going to send you, I'll send you an order form in a little bit, and then we'll go from there. And really, if you want to get this going tonight, give me a call. We take your order over the phone. We'll build it tomorrow, or we'll get your database start going tonight. So I appreciate your concerns, and I appreciate your questions, and let's have some fun and build some relationship capital. That's what we call it. That's what we do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.